Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Allison Walker, and this is called Testimony Thursday. Okay, it's an opportunity. I will be inviting people, guests on to share their miracle story, how God did something for them that they know they couldn't have done for themselves. And so, I'm so excited to be here with Eugene Bell. Actually, on Tuesday, he just celebrated 25 years of a bridge falling on his car, and he got a chance to walk away. He just flat out excited. He's my first guest, and I couldn't think of a better story to start this project that I have, Testimony Thursday, giving us all an opportunity to tell their story. And so welcome, Eugene. Welcome to this event. I appreciate you being my first guest.
Oh, we would have it no other way.
Right? And right.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Yes. And so what I would like to do, I would like to share a little bit, a video clip of the actual event 25 years ago with everybody that's out there, because I think even when I say it and even when I write it up on Facebook, it's still hard to imagine that this actually happened. And 25 years later, look at you're on the screen with me. So just give me a second so I can set up the video, and then I'll go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say I'm actually looking to see if I can see where it went live as well.
Okay.
Just to see.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay. All right.
Is.
And if you're able to share it any way you can, I appreciate it. That'd be awesome. So let me set this up. Okay, let me go to my YouTube channel. And we're going to start with this video clip, and just let me know. I'm going to. Are you able to see it and hear it?
And now, Philadelphia's only primetime news hour, honored by the Associated Press as the best newscast in Pennsylvania, the Fox 10 o'clock news.
Good evening. It was a brush with death and big traffic headaches in Camden. Problems caused by a pedestrian bridge which fell onto heavily traveled Admiral Wilson Boulevard. That is first on Fox tonight. The pedestrian bridge collapsed after being struck by a truck. One person is hospitalized in stable condition, but luckily there were no other serious injuries. However, there have been plenty of serious traffic problems, and it's not over yet. Karen Thomas is live in Camden with the latest. Karen.
Well, Jacqueline, this is the pedestrian bridge behind me. It's literally sitting in the middle of Admiral Wilson Boulevard, where it has been all day. Now, right now, workers have cranes. They're using cranes to move the span to the eastern side of the boulevard. That's what's going on right now. And it has taken them literally hours to get it as far as they have. Now, as you mentioned, traffic has been detoured from this 3-mile stretch of the boulevard all day. That is from the Ben Franklin Bridge to the Airport Circle, and traffic, of course, is still not allowed through this 3-mile stretch. So it is safe to say, slowly but surely, things are getting back to normal, but it was certainly a scary afternoon for some motorists who were almost crushed when this thing came crashing down. The pedestrian bridge smashed to the ground around noontime on Admiral Wilson Boulevard. Transportation workers say the driver of this Harrison recycling truck didn't know a large metal piece of equipment was sticking up from the back of his rig.
The boom was in the upright position and hit the overpass and knocked it off its mooring.
The debris from the fallen crosswalk sheared the roof off this Acura. Sources say the driver, Eugene Bell of Camden, was knocked unconscious. A woman driving in front of the recycling truck saw the whole thing happen.
The guy was unconscious and he had his foot on the gas. So I was trying to stop him, plus everybody else that was in the gas station.
The mangled car rolled about a quarter mile the accident scene to this mobile station. Gas station employees were outside working when they saw the vehicle rolling towards them. They jumped out in front to stop it.
I was thinking that guy might be dead because looking at the car. For a split second, I stopped because I don't want to look at a dead body inside. But then I said, he's going to need help.
Bell was taken to Cooper Medical Center and should be all right. In the meantime, traffic was stalled for hours as 3 miles of Route 30 was shut down. Despite the amount of damage, engineers say the truck driver was not going that fast. It didn't take much to knock the 150-ton bridge off its bearings.
He just caught it right. He was just able to pick it up and move it over. That's all you have to do is just actually slide it over.
After hours of engineering, workers brought in cranes to move the footbridge to the side of the road. It was a slow process. Now workers have to cut apart the bridge piece by piece to remove it. And that could take all night. In the meantime, the truck driver, 24-year-old Christia DeLuz, was not injured in the accident, but the man who was injured, Eugene Bell, is said to be in stable condition right now at Cooper Medical Center. In fact, we're told he's holding a press conference at this hour, probably to recount his horrible experience. As you saw in the video there, the roof of his car was literally ripped off. Now the big question, what about traffic tomorrow and, of course, Monday? Joining me live is Rod Roberson with the New Jersey Department of Transportation. Rod, what can you tell us about the work overnight, and what is the highway going to look like tomorrow?
Well, we're having pretty good luck moving the structure right now. We anticipate that the westbound lanes going into Philadelphia should be open by midnight or a little after. Then we're going to build a safe zone for our workers to work all night on the eastbound lane. Probably by daybreak, we'll have
Now, Eugene, I probably will stop sharing the screen now so that you can speak a little bit, and then we have another video clip, or should we go into the video clip?
The video, and then we'll just jump on and talk after that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Our top story tonight, traffic chaos after an overpass collapses, shutting down a major artery between Philadelphia and South Jersey. Take a look at this live picture of Admiral Wilson Boulevard coming to you now from Chopper 10. Crews are working to clear the pedestrian bridge from the heavily traveled road. The Admiral Wilson has been shut down in both directions now for about 11 hours. The walkway collapsed after a truck slammed into it. Miraculously, no one was killed. And less than an hour ago, 19-year-old Eugene Bell, who was injured when the top of his car was sheared off, talked to News 10. He was taken to Cooper Medical Center for his injuries.
I was, riding near a tractor trailer, and I saw that the trailer hit the bridge, but I was too close to swerve or anything like that. And all I remember is the bridge coming at me, and then, I just woke up when they were bringing me out of the car.
Tonight, Bell is listed in stable condition with a concussion. Now, News 10's Mike Strug joins us live now from the scene with the very latest on this story. Mike.
Well, Siani, the pedestrian overpass that used to span the Admiral Wilson Boulevard here at 16th Street is now back over there on the shoulder being chopped up. It's been quite a night of deconstruction here in Camden. As the final pieces of metal were cut away, the 90-ton overpass of steel and concrete was lifted from its moorings. The pair of giant cranes began the slow dance to maneuver the 135-foot structure to the shoulder of the road. The whole ordeal began shortly before noon when a truck hit the walkway and sent it crashing to the road.
We just came from the March for Jesus, and out there go for sparing our lives.
Mary Ann Perez and her family were lucky. 19-year-old Eugene Bell of Philadelphia's Nicetown Tioga section may have been even luckier. He was driving this car when the overpass crashed down on it, and he survived.
Luckily, I saw it coming, and I sped up, and nothing hit me, really. So the car that was next to me got everything, got the worst of it.
The truck that caused the problem had just unloaded a trash container at the construction site just down the boulevard.
The container truck dropped the dumpster, continued down the road. He's right opposite our park line now. The back of the truck is still in the up position. I figured he leveled it off and continued down the road. My back was turned for a second. Boom.
While the investigation continues, workers are moving quickly to clean up the roadway.
We're going to cut it up into 5 or 6 sections, roughly 30.
Wow.
Listen, um, hey, praise his holy name. Listen, you know, I'm just so curious about taking, you know, what that feels like to you when you hear this story. I mean, first you lived through it, but when you see it again. You know, share with our audience what's going on.
I mean, I gotta say wow again. And as one of my buddies says, well, let me say that backwards. Wow. Yeah, it's so amazing. It's amazing. Well, like you said, I mean, I lived it, right? But seeing the videos again, seeing the pictures of the car, seeing that I had hair back then, I mean, all that stuff, you know. But what was really big for me is that I look at that and I say, okay, it's a 25-year anniversary of that accident.
Yes.
So I look at these last 25 years and they could have all just never happened.
Right.
Had that accident gone a different way. Or my 25 years could have just been completely different, you know, even if I had lived. And because the doctors told me that based on where the bridge hit the top of the car, that had I made any kind of a move, because I always like to tell people, I didn't maneuver or anything. I didn't push the brake. I didn't speed up. I didn't do any of that. I just was fortunate and blessed to be able to just make it through. You know, the bridge fell at the right spot. Like I said, the doctor told me that had I done any of that, it may have decapitated me or crushed me or something.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really cool about the story is kind of rewinding back to how I even came to be on Admiral Wilson Boulevard at that time. So I had a job at the Cherry Hill Mall, Pearson Pagoda or Plum Gold. I mean, they were the same organization, but it was the kiosk in Cherry Hill Mall. And I remember I had just gotten home from college. That car was my dream car, by the way, that I had just gotten 6 months prior to that. So I was loving life and got a call. I got home from college. I wasn't scheduled to start work for another 2 weeks. You know, got home from college, was planning to just relax. But I got a call from the manager and she asked if I could come into work early because they were swamped. And I said, okay, well, we're going early, make some additional money, not a problem. So I'm on my way in, never made it to the location because as you saw, coming down Admiral Wilson Boulevard, and my recollection is I'm in the middle lane, 3 lanes, 3 lanes. I'm in the middle and the truck is over here on the right side. And I was about to pass the truck, but then it hit the bridge and the bridge came down on the car, blackout. I woke up to the sounds of the jaws of life cutting the roof off the car. I remember the paramedic, you know, they had me covered up, I guess to protect from any metal or glass. And they were asking me if I remembered what happened. And the only thing I could say was that I remember a bridge, a truck, and a loud sound. That was pretty much all I remembered. That was it. It was just truck, bridge, blackout. I thought I was dreaming. Even as they were putting me into the ambulance, you know, they wrapped me up with everything. I'm strapped to the gurney. I'm still believing at some point I'm about to wake up. It doesn't happen. I'm actually already awake. So we get to the hospital and there was no clear signs of injury. And obviously, if you saw the pictures,
right,
most people would assume that there should be some signs of injury based on what happened to the car.
Yeah.
But nothing. I might have had like a little scratch on my head.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so they took me into the hospital. And I guess at this point, they want to do like a full body scan. So right away, and this was the thing I was actually most upset about, right? 19-year-old mind. I'm upset that they cut my clothes off. You know, I was on my way to work, so I had some nice clothes on.
Right.
I felt some nice clothes at the time. So I was mad because I was conscious. So in my mind, I'm like, man, they could have just said, hey, can you take your clothes off so we can x-ray you? But no, I just feel the scissors go right up my leg. They cut my pants, cut everything off so that they could do the full body scan. And they didn't find anything. So they take me up to the hospital room. Well, actually, here's what happened. I was given iodine. That's what it was. I was allergic to iodine. And so my arm just swelled up. And so as a result of that, they said, hey, we need to keep you overnight. And it wasn't like I was all banged up or anything. In fact, they put me into a hospital room with a guy who, from what he had told me, he had been there, first of all, like 3 weeks. And he had pins sticking out of everywhere. I mean, they basically pieced his body back together. Apparently he had gotten hit by a steamroller. Steamroller was getting towed and the chain broke and it hit him. But he was all jacked up. And I'm just sitting there, just laid up, like, okay, I did a bridge fall my car and I'm all good, fortunately. So yeah, so I'm there overnight and, we had the press conference as you saw.
Right.
It's pretty interesting to be wheeled down in front of all the news stations asking these questions. And I mean, it wasn't a whole lot that I could tell them because there wasn't a whole lot that I remembered from what happened.
Right.
But yeah, so that's how it went down.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And for those of you who don't know out there, Eugene is my son. So I get to I get to share a little bit of the story because this is what I realized. First of all, that God had worked a miracle for us all, like for everybody, for Eugene, for me, for everybody who loved him. And what happened, the way in which I received the call was, I got a call. I was actually at Immaculata, the IHMs. They had a carnival every year, and I was there, and I received a phone call. Said, we just want you to know your son has been in an accident, and this is where he is. And so they hadn't given me any information of anything. And so my prayer was, a lot of us pray different things. And this was my prayer, that whatever happened to my son, I asked God to give me the strength and the courage to deal with it, because what was done was already done in my mind. And so I get to the hospital and I go up to the room, not knowing what to expect. And I see you laying in the bed. Now you have a neck brace, and I whisper to you, like I walk over to you and whisper to you in your ear, because I don't know who's listening. I don't know what the situation is. So I said to him, Eugene, what happened? And just as you're telling me, you're telling me, Mom, a bridge fell on my car. I said, Gene, stop lying. That, right? But just as that happened, I get a call. My sister, your Aunt Cynthia, she calls the room, right? Because she see it on the news. And she calls, and I answer the phone, and she's crying and she's screaming. And I'm trying to figure out, like, why she doing, like, what does she know that I don't know? And so she said, yeah, I saw the accident. And in a lot of people's mind, they thought that you probably was dead or very tragically hurt. And I said, well, let me just tell you the good news. And the good news is that he's fine. I'm looking at him, I'm standing here with him. And it was a miracle that day. And also it was the day that I understood the relationship that God plays in my life. I'm like in many ways, but on this particular one, when it came to you, because I realized that you were just loaned to me. God loaned you to me. And so that whenever he decide that it was time for you to go home, that it will happen. And so it gave me a sense of really understanding and accepting and being just so grateful that he spared your life, because he had purpose for you. I mean, your life has been destined, to do some great things. He has you do, and you are doing some great things. I mean, I know you're a husband, you're a wonderful father, you're a great mentor, you're an amazing son, but that goes without saying. And so And so, and so it was important for me to want you to be my first guest. It was important because that's how profound of a miracle happened for us as a family. And to see you 25 years later, actually, um, talk about it and share it with people, share the story, is just awesome, and because God is still in the miracle business. And we know that even now, as we're speaking now, somebody's looking for a miracle right now, and somebody's praying for a miracle right now. And so, we stand in the gap with people who are praying for their loved ones, their families, people all over the world, that are dealing with illness and war and all types of things. So it's just a miracle story, and I just wanted more people to see it. I want more people to hear it. And also, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you have a miracle story, direct message me. Let me know that you want to come on and share your story, your testimony, and how good God has been to you, and even through the storm. But it's not. I don't know if it's more you want to share. I think.
Yeah. Also, I mean, first of all, I love the concept that you're putting forth, and I know that this is going to be good because there are so many people out there that have stories of triumph and overcoming things that have either held them down, whether it was accident that they overcame, some type of illness that they overcame, addiction, whatever the case is. There's lots of people that have these stories, and those stories can be wonderful testimonies and can be inspiration for other people. So I think this is a phenomenal platform that you're putting together. And I look forward, we're gonna have to flip the roles. I'm gonna have to interview you. Your story has to be told, which we'll save that for another time, because that's impactful.
Yes.
But, I mean, like you talked about having purpose. And for me, that was the day where I went from believing there was a purpose on my life to knowing there was a purpose on my life. Because, as I said, I was not responsible for doing anything in that situation other than just it being in the car. And then was really impressive. They talked about the car coasted for another quarter mile. I was unconscious.
Right.
And if you can see from the video, there's a wall on one side, and there's a guardrail on the other, but beyond that guardrail is a river. So had I, I was knocked unconscious, but had I been knocked unconscious and my foot pressed on the gas real hard, who knows what could have happened? A car could have crashed into the gas station. That would have been horrible, right? But the car it just coasted straight with me unconscious. And the folks were able to come out from the gas station and reach in and turn the car off and then call the ambulance. So the part about the car going straight, maybe that's a testament to the Accurate Legends alignment or balancing or whatever. But it wasn't any doing of my own, which is so amazing to me when I really think about it. Obviously, having driven a car, to have a car just go straight for a half mile without touching the wheel, that's something different anyway. And then, for everything to go down the way it went down, purpose for sure. And so I think about how, so I was 19 when that happened. Just a few short years after that, I started coaching youth basketball, and has been coaching youth basketball now ever since. And so none of that would have happened. The opportunity to impact the young lives that I've been able to impact wouldn't have happened. Or the young lives that impacted me, because I've learned as much from them as they learned from me. And being able to meet my wife and have a family now, have my 2 sons. I mean, all that stuff just would not have happened. And so for me, that is a huge part of the message. Sure, I can look at just the bridge itself, but I look at those 25 years that have happened since then, and all that has happened during that time, how that all could just have been non-existent. And what it brings to mind is that sliding doors concept. For those that have seen the movie Sliding Doors, it's like they tell the movie from 2 different perspectives, where one thing happens versus another thing happening, all with whether or not if she catches a train.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, the way things happen, or had I been a second sooner or something crazy where things would have been different, you know, what that would have looked like. So
Right.
I'm really fortunate and blessed that things have happened the way they've happened.
Right.
And you know, I know you had asked me time and time over the years if I was going to say something about it or keep talking about it.
Right.
I was like, well, you know, I was waiting for this marker of like a 25-year mark.
Right.
To really put it out there and start telling that story.
Right. Right.
It can be an inspiration to somebody else. And
Right.
that's what I look to do, you know, live
Right.
my life as inspiration
Right.
for other people.
Yeah. And that's what's awesome about that, because the fact that you made that connection, and then in making that connection, you've done so much with it, you know, to try to live the purpose that has been given to you, to go out there and make a difference in the lives of others, you know, because that's what we're really called to do, you know. And the fact that and like you said, 25 years, like, you know, you're like, I'm just gonna wait I'm like, 25 years. Okay, let's pray that I'm still around. And thank God, guess what? I am, because I get to interview you as my first interviewer. You know, I get to do that. And so just flat out excited of what's to come. And I really appreciate you sharing the story, you know, with others. And also I did go to the gas station, that gas station owner, and the people in there, and I told them thank you. Like, and I think they were surprised that I came in. I said, no, I wanted to tell you thank you, because I knew that in this journey, you too helped my son. Because it still could have been something more serious than what it was. So, you know, I thank them, and I thank God all the time, you know, and I thank you for being the man that you are, and making a difference in the lives of others. So thank you for letting me, like I said, interview you. Thank you for just being the person that you are, you know, and God bless you, and may he bless you and me and everybody else with many, many more years to come, many more testimonies to come. And thank you so much.
No problem. Thank
So,
you.
so I'm going to end this. Listen, this is called Testimony Thursday. If you have a story that you want to share, a miracle story you want to share with others, how good God has been to you, please feel free to direct message me, you know, whether it's on Facebook. Some of you know my number personally. You can text me, because I'm looking to interview other people to share their story, that even though we may be going through the storm, and we've gone through the storm, but we're still standing because of God's grace. And so I thank you. I thank everybody for watching and listening to us today, and have a great evening. Peace out.
Peace out.